Now, when we're talking about medical equipment, what are some of the med pouch must-haves? We've talked a lot about, whether or not you should have one tourniquet, you should have two tourniquets, whether or not you should have chest seals, or if you should have quick clot, all of the things that are basically set around responding to and dealing with an active shooter, right? An active shooter, the potential issues of you being shot, you being harmed. How are you going to address that? But we've never really talked about or addressed the things that we all deal with, right? Some of you that are watching this now or watching this in the future, maybe your topic is going to be med patches. The need for bright med patches on your uniform. For those of you who have seen my plate carrier, I have always been a fan of like the subdued or the blacked out patches. My medical patch that's on my my med pouch, it's a black cross. I've had a patch before that had like black backing and then it had the white writing. But the reason why I bring this up is that I was listening to, I think it's maybe, is it Patty Mayo or Reno May or whoever, the Prep Medic? That's what it was. I was listening to Prep Medic. Prep Medic was talking about people putting certain types of medical patches on their pouches and how as a paramedic, like you don't even look at that. He was like, as a paramedic, if we have to attend to a law enforcement officer, we have to attend to a security guard, like we already understand what we're looking at. We're not going to worry about what blood type patch you might potentially have on your med pouch. We're going to do certain things. We're going to test certain things. It's not necessary to have that on your uniform. But that got me thinking. In a lot of situations for private security, the people that find you are more than likely going to be your everyday average citizen, right? For me, working in a grocery store, it dawned on me yesterday that I have a deadly, and when I say deadly, I have a very highly allergic reaction to shellfish. Well, now that we're in a situation where we're checking receipts and we're having all of these customers that are exiting the store and they're handing me their receipts, I started kind of looking through, what people have in their bags. It's a lot of people coming through with shrimp, with lobster tails, with crab legs, right? I do a great job of staying away from shellfish on a daily basis, but in the capacity of checking people's receipts and having interaction with customers as they're coming and going, it's not out of the realm of possibility that I could grab a receipt, talk to a person, have someone come up and shake my hand and potentially be exposed to shellfish and then have that allergic reaction. So I started thinking it's probably in my best interest, and I would say that it's in your best interest if you're working in these environments as well, to not have subdued medical patches, not having the blacked out patches, not having, if you're wearing a desert cam or a camo, to have a medical patch that blends in with that. I'm going to be ordering tonight, as soon as I'm done with this stream, a very bright red cross that's going to go on my uniform. My carrier is black, my pouch is black, but I want to make sure that if the random everyday customer or if some associate that works in the store, if I have some sort of medical emergency and I am not in a position where I can talk or articulate myself, I want them to know that that is where my medical equipment is. Now, when we're talking about medical equipment, what are some of the med pouch must-haves? We've talked a lot about, whether or not you should have one tourniquet, you should have two tourniquets, whether or not you should have chest seals, or if you should have quick clot, all of the things that are basically set around responding to and dealing with an active shooter, right? An active shooter, the potential issues of you being shot, you being harmed. How are you going to address that? But we've never really talked about or addressed the things that we all deal with, right? Some of you that are watching this now or watching this in the future, maybe you're a type 1 diabetic. Maybe you're a type 2 diabetic. Maybe like me, you have a shellfish allergy. I actually have 2 EpiPens that I have in one bag that's normally in my car, but those EpiPens should actually be in my med pouch, right? If you have heart condition, if you have some sort of other medical issues where you need to be able to have that known to the people that are dealing with you, that's something that you should have in your med pouch. So I have been thinking about getting a laminated card. You can purchase these ID cards off of Amazon, and they're basically like an emergency kit ID. You put your name, you put your closest contact, your emergency contact, and then there's a place for you to write on there if you have certain allergies, if you're allergic to certain medication, if you have any known issues, things like medical bracelets or medical necklaces. Those are all things that we should have on our body, things that we should have on our kit, that unfortunately, for whatever reason, we don't think about that. We're always thinking about the outward threat. We're always thinking about how we can service the people that we're working with or the people that we might come in contact with. But more importantly than anything else, especially if you're over the age of 40, or if you have any sort of medical issues, you should have this stuff on your own person, making sure that if you ever in a situation where you're unconscious and you can't articulate what's going on, that you have that on your body. Also, I think we should be talking to our partners, the people that we're working with, maybe some of the clients that we're working with, about any medical issues that we have, so that if anything happens, they know this. This is clearly something that is more important to me, seeing as I actually have some medical issues and I've had some medical problems over the past 2 years. I want to make sure that as of tonight, I address that and make sure when I go to work tomorrow, I share that with the people that I'm working with.